Welcome back. You're watching Prime Edition Business. Now, the East African Tea Trade Association is calling for a system upgrade by the Kenya Revenue Authority to hasten the clearance of tea containers for export at the Mombasa port. The association's directors say the slow clearance is leading to losses amounting to over $25 million weekly and risks shutting down the weekly tea auction. Mburu with the details.
The East African Tea Trade Association directors have taken issue with the Kenya Revenue Authority's ICMS clearing system, what they say is slowing down clearance of tea containers for export. The directors say the delays witnessed are losing the country approximately $25 million weekly in demurrage costs and lost businesses.
There is also likely to have a loss in trade. The norm is that when we are exporting teas, particularly those who export tea, until such time that the tea is shipped out, you get the beer, the buyer at the other side cannot remit the funds. And therefore, those funds will not be remitted as long as the teas are still on our land and they remain unshipped. So that's a very, very huge loss.
Our teas have been on containers for the last 5 days. We have to incur demurrage costs. We are going to incur transport costs. All these costs will ultimately be borne by the Kenyan farmer because the buyer cannot cushion those costs. We want to load teas in the morning and have them delivered to the port as fast as we can. Otherwise, we are going to slow down buying because there's no guarantee that we'll be able to ship those teas in time.
They suggested a systems upgrade or a total system overhaul for smooth exportation of the teas.
We should use USR to bill the exporters monthly. This had been tried before. It was being done by KFIS. And if this is done, it will save the situation. And this can continue until the current situation goes back to normal.
We appeal that the challenges that exporters have been experiencing through the implementation of ICMS, mapping challenges that have been experienced should be addressed in a timely manner to ensure that we reduce the export cost and increase our export revenue.
With Kenya already adding value to the teas for export in Europe, the delays have threatened the smooth supply of the same. Hence, there are calls for the government to intervene and have the matter resolved amicably and in time before they lose more business.
If the problem persists, then we'll have no option but to call off the weekly auction. If we do, $25 billion a week, relating to about 3.26 million Kenya shillings a week, will be a loss to this country.
We have just started value-adding teas for Europe, particularly the supermarkets. And if we cannot deliver these teas in time, we risk being blacklisted as an unreliable supplier of value-added teas.
Our inefficiency at the port of Mombasa will send a wrong signal to our producer member countries that might compel them to look for alternative export ports. We are not an island as a nation, and we believe that we need to protect what we have, and therefore we appeal to government and all the partner government agencies to put their acts together, address all the issues affecting tea export in this country to ensure that the tea trade is not negatively impacted.
From Mombasa County, I am Mburu.